Hey everyone, Chloe here, and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, ladies and lurkers, welcome. So today's feminine school video, as promised, will be about the very triggering and a very sensitive but necessary feminine and hypergamous topic, and that is the topic of fertility and the 15-year window. And although talking about the topic of fertility will not make me very popular with many of my listeners, I am compelled to make this video because I only wish that more women had the courage and the guts to openly speak the truth about the window of fertility and how not understanding fertility can really affect and emotionally interrupt and disrupt a woman's life in ways that are devastating. Now, the 15-year window is basically a series of personal life decisions that are made around a woman's desire to have a family that are based on having an awareness, keyword awareness, on the window of fertility. And understanding how fertility works is a game changer, especially if you are a woman who one day desires to have a family of her own. And fertility is a very, very personal topic that is not up for public debate, although it is often treated as such, because fertility is a personal decision, not a community decision or a decision that you will make based on the opinions and the judgments of others. Because the facts are, some women will be mothers at 23, some at 25, some at 30, and some at 35, and some at 47. And the time in which a woman decides to have children should never be up for debate. But because fertility has such a powerful and profound impact on our lives as women, this topic is very, very important to unpack because there are so many women, too many women, who have not been educated by their mothers and fathers about fertility, and there are way too many women who do not have a basic education on their own fertility. And contrary to popular belief, fertility is not one size fits all, and fertility does not care about how young you look on the outside, or that your black don't crack, or that you look 10 to 15 years younger, because your fertility is a wired and an internal biological clock that will always be aware of your real age, no matter how good you look on the outside. So, for those of you who don't know, what is fertility? Fertility is a man's or a woman's ability to reproduce children, and infertility, which is heavily on the rise due to the modern constraints of life, is a man's or a woman's inability to reproduce. And yes, ladies, men can be infertile, although women are often the public face of infertility. Now, fertility has never been, and I want you to listen carefully, fertility has never been cookie cutter or one size fits all, because fertility is as unique as a thumbprint, and fertility will vary from woman to woman and from family to family. And successful fertility will not always be based upon your family history and your family genetics, because there are a variety of health issues that are currently and specifically plaguing and compromising the fertility health of Black women, and that is stress, the hormonal imbalances that often come from dwelling in your masculine, and obesity and fibroids and endometriosis and a poor diet, which are very common issues that can often compromise a woman's fertility, even when the women in her family are historically known for being very fertile. So when it comes down to the 15-year window, if you were to conduct a basic Google search, you will find that the optimal window, keyword optimal, for a woman to have a healthy child is between the ages of 20 and 35. And that is why it is called a window. Now, can a healthy pregnancy be achieved outside of 35? Absolutely. And can a woman over 35 change her mind, which often happens, about wanting children? Absolutely. Can life be magnificent and fulfilling after 35 without children? Absolutely. Because a woman's value and her worth have nothing to do with fertility. But the urgency and the pressure to optimize a woman's dating and marriage choices often intensifies after 35, especially for career women. And this unplanned for and rash decision making often corners women who desire children into the panic mode of poor decision making due to a lack of a feminine education, which is why women often fall prey to desperation mode when their window for starting a family begins to shrink. And just to be clear, this video is not about shaming women who are not mothers. And this video is not about women who would rather forego motherhood or for women who could care less about having children. We hear you loud and clear in the comments section, and there are plenty of videos out there for women who are not interested in having a family. And you do not need to have children to be feminine or hypergamous. So this video is not for you if you are not interested in having children. This video is about educating women about a very important window and a very modern dilemma, because this is not a window that our grandmothers or our great-grandmothers had to think about, because the prior generations of women before us normally had children younger and they were less inclined to be career-oriented. Now, because there is so much misinformation about fertility, I implore those of you who are listening and ear hustling as a solution to do your research on this very broad topic, because this video is not about covering all aspects of fertility or conception or baby making. And this video is not about a script or a prescription on when to start a family. That is a personal choice. This video is simply a necessary introduction to a topic that can and will have a profound impact on your desire for motherhood. But to clear up a few common misconceptions, a lot of women are under the false impression that if they look young, that it means that their fertility is young. But once again, fertility is an internal biological clock that has nothing to do with your looks. Another common misconception is that a woman can naturally have a baby at any time in her life and at any age, and that is completely inaccurate. The facts are this. The 15-year window is a woman's healthiest and safest window to have children. And because fertility is so time sensitive, after 35, but certainly after 40, there is a significant drop in a woman's egg quality that can affect the health of an unborn child. So for the women who ignorantly and recklessly come to the comment section telling women, well, my grandmother and well, my auntie gave birth at 49 and 55 and 60, please realize that those experiences are the exception and not the rule, and that you are not helping women by painting fertility with a one-size-fits-all paintbrush. Because in spite of what it may seem like, women who give birth to healthy babies in their 40s and 50s naturally are still the exception and not the rule. And for those of you who are heavily influenced by celebrity examples of women who have given birth in their 40s and 50s, in many of those pregnancies, there is a bit of deception involved, because celebrity women often have access to the best and often the most expensive fertility doctors and fertility treatments. And those celebrities who have given birth in their 40s and 50s are often using donor eggs. And for those of you who don't know what donor eggs are the healthy and viable eggs of women in their 20s who sell or donate their higher quality eggs so that many women can accomplish their dreams of achieving a healthy full-term pregnancy. And most women are not even aware that pregnancies over 35 are considered by doctors to be geriatric and high risk. And those pregnancies are heavily monitored and screened for birth defects. And if more women were educated about their own fertility instead of thinking that pregnancy can happen with the snap of their fingers, more women would be able to better exercise their options when it comes to making decisions that can impact their long-term future. So when people are being judgmental about unmarried mothers, and when people are wagging their fingers about women being dumb and low value for having children while not being married, again, you are on the outside looking in, and from the outside looking in, a person will never be able to understand a woman's personal fertility history or a woman's personal fertility story, because there are so many women who struggle to get pregnant, and there are women who are suffering with the pain of baby loss and miscarriage, which is often a common silent struggle that many women painfully cope with in shame and in silence. Now, I also need to say that it is never too late to have a family of your own outside of the 15-year window, whether 35 or 47 or 60. Because I am of the mindset that there is always a solution for every problem. And achieving motherhood is always possible no matter the circumstances. There are the options of private adoption. There is surrogacy. there is IVF, there are donor eggs, and there is always the super affordable option of fostering to adopt. So it is never too late to make your motherhood dreams come true. So if you are a woman who sees herself getting pregnant and giving birth and having your own kids, then consider the 15-year window and plan your life accordingly for the best possible outcome. So that is all that I have to say on this for now. The 15-year window is a necessary conversation that all mothers and fathers should be having with their sons and their daughters, because it is a conversation that is based on empowerment and awareness. And this eye-opening conversation can literally be a difference maker when it comes to making your dreams of motherhood and parenthood come true. So stay tuned for more feminine content to come, and I will catch up with you ladies and you lurkers in the next one.